Welcome to this presentation of Trades of the Week. This is the Specialist Trading Weekly Stock, E-mini, and Forex lesson. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. Now we're going to do something a little bit different in this week's webinar. Usually what we'll do is give you a different tip or technique that I've accumulated in my past 35 years of trading in order to enhance your particular style of trading. But this week we're going to do something different. We're going to show you how those different tips and techniques in the form of a strategy would have had some real profitable trades this week. But before we begin, as always, we ask that you please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you some performance results from these signals that were generated, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of these results will be repeated in the future. So please take a moment to view our disclaimer, and then we shall begin this week's Stock, E-mini, and Forex lesson. Alright, so as I stated, we're going to do something a little bit different this week. We're going to show you actual signals that were generated and submitted to our members the night before you were to enter. But please remember that specialist trading is not like any other educational source, meaning that we're not concerned with just simply blindly feeding you signals in order for you to take and trade. I know a lot of other companies do that. Our goal is to teach you how to trade with a specialist edge so that ultimately you'll be able to spot these signals on your own and not have to rely or depend upon us giving you the signals the night before and submitting them to you either through email or coming to our website. You'll be able to spot them and be able to take them down the road 20, 30, even 40 years for your own individual trading. That's our goal, so that you'll be able to trade and learn how to spot these individually. Alright, so let's start out with stocks. Let's say you're a member of our stock course and you're interested in trading stocks, and these are all signals on a daily basis. We're not looking at intraday trading, although all of our methods can easily transfer over into intraday trading. Let's just say you like to hold positions overnight and you're looking at daily bars. Alright, so on the night of the 7th, you would have come to our website as a stock member and then gone to the page where the signals are activated. And you would have seen on the night of the 7th for trade date January 8th, as we see here on the top, you would have seen a number of stocks to either buy or sell. In this particular instance, on the night of the 7th, there was only one stock to buy, but there was also, coming into the next day, there were 3 stocks to go short. Let's look at the stock to go long, which was WLP. Okay, so you see here, we tell you where the stock closed, what its current trend was, the strategy that we're looking for, the signal generated, and we tell you where to buy, where to enter into the trade, where to place your protective stop, and then different exit points. All right. So let's start off with looking at our entry. We would have entered on the day of the 8th. Remember, this was all this information was submitted on the night of the 7th for trade date January 8th. If we look at the chart here in WLP, we would have seen here that at the close of the 7th, strategy number 1 issued a particular buy signal. All right. Now, once again, after you've taken the course for a while, you would know exactly how to spot this, and you would have known exactly that you want to enter right here at 59.85 for trade date the next day of January 8th. So let's see what happened on the next day. Once again, you had this information the day before, and you would have entered long into the trade at 59.85. So now you're in the trade, you enter your stop, and you enter your exit point as well. Now you have 2 different variations here. You can take the more conservative exit, which would be exit number 1 at 60.85 and gain a quick point, or you could take the standard exit, which would be at 61.89. Now we also show you more aggressive exit forms in which to stay into the trade a lot longer if you'd like. Let's say we took the standard exit at 61.89 and placed our order to exit there. Well, as we see, on the very next day we would have exited with a nice 2-point gain, roughly $2.04. So had you traded this, within 2 days you would have reached your goal. Very little, in fact hardly any risk within the trade, because once you entered, things continued going in your direction. So this was an actual signal, once again given on the night of the 7th for trade date the 8th. And as you saw there, we also had some other trades to go short. You could have taken advantage of those as well. Alright, so let's look and see how our signals were generated and how they performed in the E-mini. Let's say you don't trade stocks and you're an E-mini trader. Once again, we provide you with the signals if you're an E-mini trader, but we only provide daily bar signals because there's a number of ways in which to trade intraday, but we feel that you should be more responsible for that because there's different time frames, there's different settings, and we just provide you signals for educational purposes so that you'll be able to spot them on daily bars. Alright, so had you been an E-mini member on the night of the 8th, you would have received an email such as this, telling you that, attention, E-mini course members, there is a strategy number 7 signal that has just been generated to go long the E-mini. We give you all the rules, tell you where to buy, where to place your stop, and where to exit. All right, this is a very standard way in which to trade. One of our premier strategies for holding the E-mini overnight. That's strategy number 7. So you would have been given all this information on the night of the 8th. Let's look at the chart here. As you see, really, just looking at face value, it doesn't look like the market's really given us any clues. And we're kind of in this short-term range here for the past week. But if you really knew how to listen to the market for all the things we teach you, you would have seen here that strategy 7 was really giving you a very strong buy signal. So your entry for the next day would be at 1456, right? Once we trade above the previous bar's high. Had you decided to take a trade, you would have entered on the 9th at 1456. All right. Now our exit, our standard exit for this would be once we closed above the last short-term high. Here's, as you can see here, this is the last short-term high where this magenta type of dashed line is. So anytime we close above there, this is where your standard exit should be. Obviously, you can get out earlier, you can get out later if you want. It's up to you. You just have to know how to monitor the trade, which we teach you as well in our E-mini course. So you're long at 1456, and guess what? The very next day, the market went higher. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, Steve, how could you go long? There was a lot of news that could have been negative. We're waiting for reports. There's a lot of earnings. Different things are happening in stocks. Remember, we're not concerned with any of this information at Specialist Trading. We only listen to one thing. And in our opinion, that's the most important thing, and that's what the market is telling us. The only trouble is that most people have been taught to listen to external noise, such as news, such as chat rooms, trading rooms, such as different market trading gurus. We really put little importance in those things and listen and teach you how to learn and listen to the only thing you should be, and that's the market itself. And in this case, the market, the E-mini was telling us to go long, which we did. And in roughly 1 or 2 days, we made 11 points, $550 per contract. All right, so that was a day later. If you recall, we entered into the stock trade on the 8th. Now on the 9th, if you were an E-mini member, you would have entered into this E-mini trade. Let's look and see if you were a Forex trader. All right, so once again, we issue signals for our Forex members as well on a daily bar basis. You can trade all of our strategies intraday as well within the Forex, or if you want to trade weekly or monthly bars as well. But we issue signals for educational purposes in the daily bars. If you were a Forex member, you would have received the next day a alert such as this on the 9th telling you that there was a signal generated in strategy number 6. This is one of our strategies for trading the Forex markets. It would have told you to go long the Euro-Yen. There was a strategy number 6 buy signal in the Euro-Yen. Once again, we tell you where to enter, where to place your stop, and where to exit using the standard exit forms. So if we look at the Euro-Yen now on a daily basis, we see here that there's not much of a trend happening as well. We're kind of going sideways for the past 2 weeks, but remember, we don't care about what's going on in the world. We don't care about economic conditions. We really don't care about news reports. We only care about what the market is telling us. And according to this pattern and indicator that we follow with the strategy number 6, it was telling us to go long the Euro-Yen. That's all it was telling us. There was nothing economically or going on in the world that we were concerned with. So 1 day later, if you recall, we were issued the signal to go long on the 8th for the stock report. We were issued 1 day later on the 9th to go long for the E-mini signal. And now here, on the night of the 9th, we're being told to go long on the 10th. So each day in succession, we were given a different signal to go long. In this particular case, go long the Euro-Yen once it traded above the previous bar's high. So you would have entered at 115.04 had we traded on the 10th, and guess what? Well, the next day we did, and it continued to go higher and higher, and this was our exit on the very same day at the close at 117.74. So in 1 day, you would have made 270 pips trading one of the large contracts. That's roughly about $3,000 or close to $3,000. So as you can see, each day in each of the different markets, we would have furnished you with a signal to go long. As you saw in the stock course, we also gave you a number of strategy signals to go short as well. So it's not just long trades. We really don't care which direction the market is telling us to go. We're just jumping on board whichever signal the market gives us. In this particular instance this past week, we had 3 very nice buy signals all submitted on different days in these different markets. Now, had we taken each one of those signals and just taken the smallest increment, say 100 shares of WLP, one contract of the Emini and one contract of the Euro Yen, we see here that we probably would have made closer or upwards of $3,500 with very little risk in all of those trades. But please remember, and as we conclude here in this weekly lesson, the only way you can achieve this consistency is by learning the strategies. We really do not want people just to come and rely solely on the signals that are generated and on the different alerts that we furnish all of our members. We want to give you these for educational purposes so that you can understand why a signal was generated, you can understand the process behind the strategies, and then ultimately you'll be able to spot them on your own. That's our goal. We want to teach you how to really understand this and how to see things on your own so that you'll be able to trade, as we stated earlier, 20, 30, even 40 years down the road. That's our edge here. We're looking for this consistency, and we're looking to give you this education that we've accumulated in 35 years of trading. As we close here, I ask that you please take one last look at our disclaimer. I showed you performance results from this past week, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of these results will be repeated in the future. So as you're taking one last look at our disclaimer, once again, we kind of varied from off track here a little bit. Usually we'll give you a different tip or technique in order to enhance or heighten your trading, but as you can see here, we just want to show you the profits from those tips and techniques and how they actually work in real time for our members. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here next week with a different stock, E-mini, and Forex lesson. Bye-bye.